Hello, I'm Christian Cameron, the author of God of War, and I'm a historical writer.
Cool. So what is God of War about?
God of War is mostly about Alexander the Great and the dawn of the Hellenistic era. It's quite a long book because Alexander the Great is probably one of the most interesting and heroic individuals ever to walk the earth, one about whom we are in the curious paradox of knowing a great deal and not knowing nearly enough. It's told from the point of view of his boyhood friend and lifelong supporter Ptolemy, who ended up as the king of Egypt. And one of the things that makes it curiously difficult to write is that Alexander, while an extraordinary person, was not a very good person. You could view him as almost a religious leader, or you could view him as the Hellenistic Adolf Hitler, and both views might be accurate, and trying to capture that required a lot of pages.
Cool. So what is it about Alexander the Great that you think makes him such a fascinating and enduring character?
I think ultimately Alexander is the archetype of what a hero is in Western civilization. And that's not just my point of view. Julius Caesar thought Alexander was the greatest hero who ever lived. Most of the 1st century AD representations of Jesus Christ used Alexander the Great's face to represent Jesus. Throughout the Byzantine Empire and as far away as in Ireland, Irish monks saw Alexander's life as the ultimate life of a Western hero. In early Christian times, right through the Middle Ages, Alexander was viewed as one of the great worthy military heroes of all time. His biography has been written and rewritten pretty much throughout the history of the West. And in printed books, Lives of Alexander were one of the earliest printed books that were written down. So his interest is enduring. He had the status almost of a god in his own lifetime, and to this day the name Alexander is a name to conjure with.
Cool. And so the last one was, what was it like to perform historical reenactments from a historian's point of view?
I'm an inveterate reenactor. I have been since I was 13 years old, and I learn a great deal of what is important to me as a writer from attempting to live the past. And I want to right off the bat draw a line. When we reenact, we know perfectly well we're not getting everything right. If you attend a reenactment, you will sooner or later see a Roman legionary sitting on a cooler and drinking a Coke. And it's perfectly all right to laugh, but it is also important to understand that in the bounds of reenacting, we try our damnedest to live the way they live for as long as we can. And one of the touchstones of being a good reenactor is to teach yourself and then teach the public that the life of people in the past was not hard, it was only life. That they didn't have matches, and that didn't mean it was hard to light a fire. It meant they had to learn a different skill set, a skill set we lack today, to light a fire quickly and easily. But their lives were not hard. It was not hard to sleep without a sleeping bag. It simply required different technologies and different skill sets to sleep comfortably on the ground. If you can accomplish that as a reenactor, you learn things about the past that frankly make for good novel writing. If you enjoy reading historical novels, chances are you enjoy understanding the mechanisms that made the past work. And those mechanisms are important to our understanding of the past, and perhaps important to understanding who we are today.